Hi folks, hopefully you feel fine and picture and audible noises are fine so far. So if one of you can give me please a short feedback in the chat box. The reason why I ask you today is I'm just alone in the studio today, this morning, and I have to manage all the stuff. So that means all the camera settings and audio and so on, and I don't have any feedback personally. So just give me a short feedback if everything is okay for you. Or if someone can unmute for a second his mic and give me a short feedback if it's okay. Hey, fine. Okay. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for the feedback. Okay, great. Welcome to Australia. Great. Appreciate. So, okay. So, hi folks. So, welcome to another webinar sent from Theben studio here in Haigerloch. For all those who don't know me, my name is Elmar. I'm responsible for technical hotline and training, and we are giving here since approximately 2 years roughly, so regularly some fruitful insights in regards of technology, in regards of KNX, in regards of smart home, luxury living, or other topics like DIMAX and so on. So if you have missed probably some of our webinars, so just open our webpage, and in the menu service you will find webinars, and if you scroll down on this page you will find the probably missed webinars. So always appreciate if you have a look in that, and always appreciate it to welcome you again to our webinars here. What's the content of today? So hopefully for you it's of interest. So I prepared the color control, color management control. We will talk a little bit about so what is color, so what we have to consider. We talk about let's say the drivers which we need, or the gateways which we need, and sure, we need some to operate, and that's finally today the iON. And so that means I'm using in my webinar iON series. I'm using in my webinar today the Dolly gateway, and I will show you in a panel so some demonstration live later on. So like usual in the last sector of our webinars. Hopefully you have some fun, and if you have some questions, so I've in the teleprompter in front of myself I have the chat box, so probably I can give you directly your reasonable answers if you have some. Okay, let's get started, and let's get started with the question. So can we manage, we Theben, our products, can we manage color, LED colors? However, yes we can. And can we do this with the app? Sure. And I will show you, I will make you acquainted with how to deal with, how to do it. Okay, so for all those who haven't met our iON series, here you do have so the 2-fold switchgear, 4-fold switchgear, and here this is the one which I'm using today mainly. So this is finally iON 108 with a small display, and but powerful in the application. And this I will use mainly today. But first of all, some, let's say, few insights about the product in general. As you discover here, so we do have here 2-fold, 4-fold gangs, switching push buttons, however, with and you discover here, so you do have here some lights, or better this way here, and for the night orientation, however, and these LEDs are dimmable if you like. So that means during the night time, so they softly dim down, so they are not that dominant in the view, and you aren't disturbed during the night times, however, but it gives you a certain, let's say, orientation light. Yeah, mainly, okay, all the standard functions like light control, like shading control, like visualizing of some values or so is possible with this, right? But our main topic is this one here, color control of LEDs. And that means finally we do have here a few options, and these we go through. So that means we do have here color temperature, so HCL, human centric light. So this we can do, this we can manage with our iON. We can support RGB control or RGBW control, so with a separate white channel. And if you do have the respectively driver with the XY color control supporting, so then we can support this as well with iON 102, iON 104. And okay, this one here, okay, that's the one who is most powerful. More than 20 functions and display, and you discover here Bluetooth on board. So that means with this one we can directly link to an app, and we can operate, and I will show it later on, we can operate exactly this nice controller with the app. And specifically today we manage the colors with the app. Yeah, and here as well we support exactly the same application. So what is your impression with the iON series? Nevertheless, if we talk about iON 102, 104 or the iON 108, all of them supporting color control. So basically, if we support or if we talk about color control, RGB, so RGB means finally this is the reception, the color space finally. The human eye discovers or captures finally the different light colors. And there are specific cones in the retina of the human eye. And the so-called L types are specifically more for the red colors. The M types are more for the green colors, and the S types are more for the reception of the blue colors, however. So that means RGB comes most close to the reception of the human eye. Okay? But, you know, this is theory. Here we talk about practice. So that means we do have here finally this LED stripe, which is ideal to manage different colors. And what you discover here specifically, you discover here, okay, 3 colors, but in total 4 different cables. And you discover here on top, the black one, you need specifically an additional power. And this depends to the manufacturer of the stripe. However, you have to support these LED stripes with 12 or 24 volt DC. Yeah, otherwise they definitively would not run. And how you can manage if you want to have finally white color. You're missing here. You have R for red, you have G for green, B for blue, but white is missing, so how you can manage it. So if you give 100% red, 100% green, 100% blue, so the mix of all results finally to the white color. But nevertheless, you know, there are existing RGBW LEDs or LED stripes, however, like you discover here. So we do have here these 4 colors, and we do have here R, G, B, and W, exactly. And on top you find 24 volt plus, so that means 24 volt you have to apply to this LED stripe additionally. So what is the benefit of this RGBW? The advantage is finally, if you want to manage, let's say, these HCL, so human-centric lights, or these light which follow, this white light which follows finally, let's say the natural daylight. Early morning, you have a warm white light when the sun is rising. During the noontime, we do have really a white shining, a cold white shining white color, natural light finally. And at the end of the day, softly it's fading out and we do get again this warm light color. So this is HCL, so human-centric light, so following exactly the, let's say, the curve of the sun and the color curve of the sun finally. And for that purpose, if you want to manage to implement these warm white colors, you need an additional stripe, and this is the W. Yeah, so that means the W, the white channel, which you can apply finally. Yeah, so this is what you have to distinguish finally. Probably you have heard about, so the XY color space control. What is the difference to it? The difference is finally you get as a result, you get color, full stop. Yeah, but how to manage it? So, and XY space is finally, you see, probably have seen such kind of image, this kind of a sail, yeah, and with X values and with Y values, finally, you can find exactly the color spot which you like to have, yeah. And these coordinates are between 0 and 0.8/0.9. And within this frame, let's say frame, you can create all the different colors. Difficulty is finally, you need to have such kind of a driver, of a ballast, who can manage it, who can support this. Yeah. We, with our iON, we support this control. If the drivers can do, please double check, yeah, if you have some. Then we do have here HSV. It's a different way to define colors. However, you see this H, finally, this is the color ring, and depends on the degree which you give as a value to the controller, so you get the reasonable color. Yeah, so that means here on this degree you get more the red colors, on this degree here you get more the blue colors. However, saturation means as higher the saturation is, as more intensive finally the color gets. And with a V, so you can give them a more lighter or more gray, gray color, however, yeah. So it's a color cone finally what we are talking about. Again, so this is as well a way how to create and to display finally colors, yeah. But be aware about your driver which you intend to use to drive LED colors, yeah. They have to be able to manage HSV, for instance, or XY and so on. So this is first what you have finally to double check. Otherwise, probably you are wondering, okay, I sent a color value, but the result is really poor or not working, however. So please double check it firstly. And then we do have HCL, so human-centric light, so this color temperature light management. And what does this finally mean? This HCL is, it's white color, yeah, but you know, or you had heard about, so more the icy cold color or more the warm colors, however, and they are along the BBL, so that means the black body line, so it's called finally. It's between the red colors and in between the yellow, green and blue colors. There is a small specific, let's say, path, yeah, where you have different white colors, yeah, more cold, more warm, however, and along this black body line finally you will find your white color, which is exactly like that. This is finally, let's say the curve or the appearance of the natural daylight during the day. So warm light starting, noontime icy cold, and the afternoon time or night, heading to the night times finally, then it becomes warm again. And with this HCL, the values along the black body line finally, you can exactly remodel, however, exactly such kind of a behavior of the natural daylight. So that means you can create inside of a room, inside of an office, exactly the feeling that you are, from the light perspective, that you are somewhere outdoor, however. Yeah, it is good for your mood, for the concentration, however, and it's as well good, especially when we talk about the fading out during, let's say, the evening times, so that your body can calm down. Yeah, because blue light, probably you know, is making you active, concentrated and so on. And most of these screens, finally, which we are using, tablets, mobiles, or TV desktops, however, so they are giving us a lot of blue light, finally, and this makes us active and hectic, however, yeah. But to come back to a good sleep or to a good rest, however, so you need this red light again to calm down. And exactly for that, we do need, or we do have, HCL control, and this we support as well. Yeah, so how we can control it general, and there are two ways to do so. So one is finally, we do have here on top, okay, sure, the iON 102, 4, and 8 supporting us. And we do have in the market, in the KNX market, different DALI or different light drivers, LED drivers, not DALI, LED drivers. So you see, different manufacturers, they have directly links to KNX. You discover it here, you discover the direct link to KNX here on top. And here as well we do have one. And so that means we can directly act from KNX to the reasonable LED driver. And on these LED drivers, finally, you apply your LED stripe or your LED lamp, however. This is one approach, one access to do so. And we do have another way to do so, to manage colors. It is finally to control it with DALI gateways. So we do have, or I have listed here, some of our DALI gateways. So the DALI S64, so for 64 lights. So and here we need some. We need specifically, for instance, such kind of drivers, ballasts, switch gears, however you want to name it. And here we don't have directly connection to KNX. We just have here DALI communication. So that means we have here, specifically here, DA. So that means this is DALI. You just link it finally to our DALI line, to the DALI gateway, and it is implemented in the DALI system. And from this switchgear here you apply RGB or RGBW, depends on the manufacturer, depends on the type of the switchgear, however. So then you can drive directly on this way. You know, two ways to do so. Yeah. But important is finally the quality of these LED stripes or LED lights in general. Yeah. So probably in some cases you may wonder, okay, you give 100% red and you wonder, oh, it's probably, it's not that nice like I have expected. However, so probably some of the manufacturers are offering so their specific software, but it's not a public software in terms of a DALI software or ETS software or so. It is specifically manufacturer software, manufacturer-based softwares. And probably in some cases you need these tools to adjust or to calibrate finally the DALI driver so that the result of the output is, at the end of the day, the reasonable good. Okay? Well, so how to do? First of all, in my example, I'm using here a DALI gateway, so the S64 KNX from Theben. And what I did, I started finally the installation, a new installation. So then here the reasonable DALI lights have been listed, and then by drag and drop I pull them in this list, name it finally, and in this list I can double check, for instance, if it's exactly the light which I mean. On the right hand side, you see here, if you click on the right hand side, you can on off this specific light just for testing, and to be on the safe side, it's exactly that what I want to name, like here, for instance. And then if everything is fine, And you have the full picture of all the lights which you need, and then you can start to create some groups. And I put here the different lights, or the different specific lights I put here in the different groups, for instance. So that means here I just by drag and drop from this list to this list here. Yeah. So and then more or less the deal is done. You have here just to download the application into the device and done. So that's the way to do if you have exactly this one here. Yeah? If you have lights not on their own able to communicate to KNX, but they are able to support or to follow dolly commands. And for that purpose exactly, you use such kind of drivers. Okay? So what is to do finally? Yeah, then you have to do the group addressing. Sure, you discover here, so I have here color temperature, for instance, prepared. And color temperature means HCL. Sorry, give me a second. So, and that means for the HCL control, we need basically or mainly on-off. Sure, application. You see here the group addressing for that. We need the brighter, sorry, the brighter darker, yeah, to increase the intensity of these colored light, or this HCL light, or this color temperature, however. Or you can give as well, and you see listed here, you can give as well your fixed values, yeah, which means finally you predefine. So in several steps you want to call up the different, let's say, light colors, so the HCL, the human-centric light. Or you can do it stepless, however. There are two communication objects, and the two communication objects are like that. Tunable white. So basically, you see here, tunable white. Second. Tunable white is this XY. Give me a second. That's 5. So it's the ETS which troubles me currently a second, because this, I click here on demo and I get here as a feedback live. This was not like it should be. Okay. Okay. Frozen. Let's see if I can probably act from the group monitor. Let's see, probably it runs from that side. 6029. So that means, okay. Then I go to this here, okay. And now we can take this one here, the panel. And if I modify now, let's say, first of all, HCL, I switch on. Tunable white, yes, I switch it on. Tunable white is this one here. And you can send on this object here the really a cold white, or if you want to have more the warm white, you can modify, and you see now at the outer area of these, yes, now it turns, it takes a while, it's approximately 3 seconds. So you see here now, here on this edge, you see the color turns to a more warm color. And for that purpose, we have a communication object, which calls here line color temperature, cold warmer. So if you apply here, if you give here the reasonable value via a kind of a dimming command, so then you can do it stepless. Yeah. If it comes finally to yeah, let's say to the usage of such kind of a list here, so then we can do it in a following way. So I operate here from this push button, which is currently for you not visible because my camera is some troubles. So that means I have here a list giving me, let's see, probably if I can zoom it out. Yes, okay, so we manage it. Okay, this way. So that means I have here my list, and I call it up. I call the colors up finally. Now 5K, 4K, and after a while, so you should see the color, the white color, is not that cold anymore. It turns more to the warm, to the warm colors. Yeah. So you can do it either with a listing, or you can do it finally with, yeah, with stepless. The trouble is currently, so don't wonder, so the camera is currently pulsing because it directly is focusing on my panel, and that's the reason why the focus permanently is trying to get sharp, reception. But okay, that's the current trouble which I have. Sorry for that. Sometimes technique is not that easy, especially if you try to transmit it from a studio. So under normal circumstance, you will definitely have a stable color and a good, let's say, impression of this color. Okay, so HCL, you know, you can do it stepless or you can do it in the listing, however. Then we have, for instance, these yeah, LED statuses, but important for us is finally this RGBW. And RGBW, so here we have to distinguish finally. RGBW, you can operate with a 6-byte yeah, operating panel, like iON finally is. Or if you don't have, then you can have separate objects. So that means then you can operate each color of the RGBW stripe separately. What does it mean? For that purpose, so hopefully now it works again. Demo, we'll see. I close that. Doesn't turn to. Okay, there's a difficulty now. It doesn't, it is frozen, and I don't know why. Okay, so I tried to describe it, how it works. So we do have here RGB, the color value. So this is our main setting which we need to have. Then we have the option finally of the color list, which we can do so. Yeah. And we do have finally the option to have here fixed value. And in this case, we do have here the option to separate RGBW or HSV. You remember, this was in the introduction from the beginning. So that means depends on what your driver is able to support you. So then you can separate here, or you can define here finally how you want to control via RGB with a separate object, and these I activate now, or HSV with separate objects, or in a common object. So that means with a 6-byte. If I do so, so I take now this, yes, okay, in this case I drop this programming, and which means finally now I should have RGB colors, yes. And you see now you have different color channels, yeah, for your LED stripe, for instance. So, and then if we open, so then you see here, we do have here a byte communication, yeah, for R, for G, for B, red, green, blue. So then you have different communication objects. If I undo, that. So I try to RGB colors. Yep, okay. Then I should have just one single object, you see here. And you see here I have a 6-byte communication object. So that means with one push button or one controller, you can operate all the channels or all the colors, however. Yeah? You got me? So back to our panel. So hopefully the light is not stable, but I definitively will manage it. So I do have here, for instance, on the bottom line, probably you can imagine, so this one is a kind of red color. So when I search or I open now my RGB on off or dimming, I set the dimming here on this push button. Okay, so dim it down now. Okay, you see. So I leave it really in a, in a low value because the camera is troubling me from time to time and you can't get the real impression of the real color. So, and now if I click on that, so now I ask or call up the different colors which I've preset in my color list. It is yellow, now it turns to green, now it turns to a soft orange. Then it should turn to a lighter green and so on in the blue. Hopefully you can see it. Again, it is the difficulty from the color, so the studio is well illuminated. And that's the reason why probably the reception for the camera is not that easy, but the color definitively changes brilliant. So, and you can do it as well with the iON 104 or 102, however you want to like it. So the dimming, you see, works. So it's just operating in parallel. I click just once on this push button here, and I get this color. I do a double click on that. The color changes, assuming that you can see. I press longer. I call up another color. The bottom push button, I click on once here. Okay, color changes. Double clicking, color changes again. And long-term press, I should get another color as well. And close. Okay, you see how it works, how simple it is finally to manage it, to do so. And the list, again, the color list, you can predefine. You see here in this color value, in this color list, finally, you can do it with a kind of color picker. So I go a step aside. So you see here, you decide here, so which color you intend to use. You can do it finally with a color picker. You just click on here and position that, and you see all these sliders here, yeah, that they are following according to where the color is finally. So this is a partition of red, this is a partition of green, this is a partition of blue, and this is a result of this light, okay? Or you can do it as well. You can take the sliders, yeah, and modify here and generate your color you desire finally, and done. What does this white level means finally? So if you want to have not a really intensive, in this case, yellow color, for instance, you want to have a light yellow or a light blue, however, so you can mix in this case because it's RGBW, sorry. So then you can mix to this pre-selected color, let's say a partition of white. And so you can soften it. Yeah, it's not that intensive anymore and depends on the level here, so you can manage it. You decide so how the color finally should look like. Yeah, more saturation, less saturation, however, let's say this way, in this way, this you can manage exactly on that spot. Finally, yeah, so the list of the different colors, yeah, you fill up here, yeah, you can name it, for instance, yeah, it is light yellow, for instance, and then it's finally displayed exactly on the iON here in the display itself, yeah, so you can do it like that. If you don't do it, so then you get the hex code which is displayed here finally. So, but I think it's more nicely to see, to visualize finally what the color is finally, what you can expect if you click exactly on that push button. Okay, so far? Sounds easy, huh? So general information about, so and for this purpose I want to open it. So these general information sounds simple, but this is exactly what we need now. This is exactly the Bluetooth connection. Yeah. So for my example, for my demonstration, I don't need it. But in the event of that you're using such kind of, let's say, color, so mood control, color mood control, however, in hotel or so, so then you can here preset that the communication, the pairing, yeah, is elapsing after, for instance, 2 days. So hotel guest is living in this hotel room, and latest after 2 days, probably, or after a week, most of the people are leaving the hotel, and then after that time, so then the pairing code is not valid anymore. Yeah, so you can automate that, or the hotel manager can automate that. So that's a, let's say, a permanent value. 7 days, after 7 days, you have to renew the pairing, or the pairing is elapsed. I think could be of interest, could be of favorite. However, in regards of the favorites, this is a good remark. So you can arrange your favorite pages. So that means if you have here several, up to 20 functions, yeah, and you can later on arrange, so what is in the line, what is the first, what is the second, what is the third. So here you adjust or you specify the different functions, and later on you can decide, or your client, for instance, can decide, so in which array finally this, and which line these functions will display later on. Okay, rather simple, but really helpful, because definitively we know all. So if you talk to a client, okay, today is so, tomorrow is probably different. With this one, you can arrange or renew the different functions. But it's just a simple way to do so. So that means you just open it. I want to have this not in the first line. I want to have this as, I want to have at this position the function 5, for instance, and on this position I want to have function 6, however. So you arrange, you renew the line finally when these functions are popping up. Okay, so far. Okay? Hopefully I could give you a good insight, but now, okay, you want to see, you want to know. So how I have to imagine. So these fabulous iON multi-control, and for that purpose I open now my mobile. So my mobile, and I open here the app, the iON Play app. Yes, okay, there is currently no pairing, but I do so. So I open now with plus, so I start searching if there is any iON 108 in the close area. Confirm it by setting the hook, confirming by pressing OK. So, OK. And now for this purpose, I open the panel, and probably you can read. Here pops up now a number, and this number is their pairing number. In my case, it's now 9710. 9710. Okay. Okay, pairing is done. Oops, and what happens now? I haven't done anything. It's exactly like it is. That means all the programming which is here inside of this iON 108, which I did in advance to this webinar, is now directly imported in the app. And now you are able to operate. So that means, in this case, I have implemented, for instance, the dolly relay. I have implemented, for instance, the light switching here, can dim these, this is more, this display should be, for instance, like a schoolroom or so. So then I do have here, for instance, some lights here on top, can dim it up and down, however, and off it. So then I have tunable white, can operate here, and I can call up here, for instance, 6K. And now, okay, definitively you should see that this specifically, if you watch here in the outer area, in the outline, so that it is now really a cold white. I turn down to a warmer color, and definitively you discover here, okay, this outer line here is turning now more to yellow. So, and you can modify the intensity, however, you see. And then we open the colors. I dim down the colors a few bit so that you get a better impression of the different, let's say, color statuses. And now we do have here a list. For instance, I can open here a yellow, I can open here a dark blue, or it should be like that. Oh, come on. Okay, then it's lighter blue. Then I do have here a kind of purple, for instance, and a dark red should be there as well. Okay, you see, you can manage it from that side as well. So I do now the following, just to finish this short demonstration. I give here a kind of, let's say, scene. Switch on the light here, okay. And then now I go to scene, add a new scene, give him a name. It's, for instance, the scene music. Close it, and okay, the participants of this scene should be a dolly relay, the current status of the upper light. Then we need the front light. Then we currently have 16% of tunable white, and with 15K. RGB, I do have here currently this kind of soft red, however. And okay. And then I apply another scene, which is scene end. You can do so if you like. So, but for this purpose, yes, I want to save. For that purpose, I off this here. Okay. All this is off. Dolly relay, I deactivate as well. Okay. So I go back to scene. So this is now my scene. And now with setting the hooks, so then I take the current statuses of my reasonable lights, confirm it by pressing OK, and done. So if I call up now my scene for the music, I do have here the ending scene, so I close it here. So you see how easy it finally is, and nevertheless how powerful finally the iON in combination with our DALI gateway could be. And please be aware, so this is a recommendation from my side, be aware, so the LED or the LED stripes which you intend to drive, please double check first if they are really good in the quality. If you get there just from in the testing phase, finally not good intensive colors and so on. So don't wonder if you call it up with the iON or if you call it up with the DALI gateway, and then the result is not good either. So due to that, so please be aware about that. Hopefully I could give you a good insight, a short insight. So I kept it 45 minutes. So hopefully it meets. If you have further questions, so please don't hesitate to contact us. And looking forward to see you soon. So on our webpage, the next heading webinars are announced, so which are KNX secure, so RF secure, and followed by current metering later on. It's end of this month, however. So always our pleasure if you participate to our webinars. Wish you a successful day. Best regards down to Down Under, to Middle East, to India, to England, to Sweden, Finland, and so on. So all of these participants, I was amazed this morning when I saw the lists. Take good care and looking forward to see you soon.